Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today is another tutorial for you all. This has been highly requested. So this is 3 different hairstyles, and I'm also teaching you guys how to draw like a basic hair strand. So I really hope you enjoy. If you want to see how I did these 3, just keep watching and I will speak to you all soon. Before I get into the hairstyles, the first thing I want to talk about is how to draw a chunk of hair. So basically what I do is I start out with an S shape. You can really modify this S shape. You can make it tighter for more curly curls or looser for straighter hair. But this is basically how I start out any hairstyle, which is why I wanted to start with this first. So now all you have to do is just mirror that first line you drew and connect it at the bottom. And then you're gonna go in that middle part of the hair and do another S-shaped curve and bring it down to the bottom, and you're going to connect the two. And then you're going to add more detail into the center, which I believe is the fun part, but I don't like to add too much detail because I like to color it later. I believe I say this again later in the video, but you can add as much detail as you want. Definitely look at references. I highly recommend that. Go on Pinterest. I have a Pinterest board. I will link it down below for you all so you can go look at my hair board. I have tons. It's a great way to practice. So just fill your sketchbook with a bunch of different hairstyles, and I promise hair will be a lot easier. Now I'm going in and adding more flyaways. I believe this really brings the hair to life. So go ahead, add more flyaways, make it your own, and have fun. That's the main thing. So there are 3 characters here, and we are going to do 3 different hairstyles on them. One will be a ponytail, one will be a more wavy curly hairstyle, and then one will be braids. So when drawing a ponytail, you're first going to start off with the placement of the rubber band. If it's a high ponytail like I'm drawing, you're going to put it at the top of the head, and if it's a low ponytail, you can put it near the bottom of the head. And now we are going to draw her hairline. First we'll start with her sideburn, which starts at the top of her ear, and then it'll go up towards the top of the forehead. So this is like her hairline. So once we are finished with this, we are going to draw the hair going into the ponytail. So you're going to make some volume at the top, usually right at the top of the forehead. And you want to have kind of a lift from the skull because the hair won't lie totally flat on the head unless you're doing more of a sleek ponytail. But even then, I try to add a little bit of volume. And then it just follows that basic skull shape, which is why I left it there for you guys to see. And then you are just going to follow that shape down to the bottom of the head. And then at the bottom, the hair kind of connects to the nape of the neck. So now we are adding the hair being pulled into the ponytail. So we drew that ponytail holder there first because I want to remind everyone that the hair is going to be pulled into that ponytail. So all of the hair on top of the head needs to be facing that direction. And then towards the bottom, it's going to be pulled up towards that ponytail holder. So having that drawn there in the beginning is really useful and a great tool to have if you want your hair to be up. So now we're going to add the actual ponytail. So what you're going to do first is make that line, because remember there is volume in hair. So you're going to make that line going upwards, and then you're going to make that S shape that I taught you how to do in the beginning. Depending on how curly or straight you want the hair to be, you can kind of extend that S shape. I have mine pretty extended, but more curly on the bottom. And then you're just going to mirror that line that you made, and there's the basic shape of the ponytail. And then we're going to go in and add some more detail, and I think that is the really fun part about having your hair up, is you can add a lot of flyaways because that's how hair is. So just experiment and have fun. And now I'm going in and adding more detail to the inside of the hair. This is really fun. I really enjoy doing this. I'm wrapping the hair around that main shape I made in the beginning. And then the hair, the ponytail is finished. You can modify this any way you want. If you want more of a half up, half down, you can have the bottom portion of hair actually out and over her shoulder. So you can have kind of like an Ariana Grande ponytail kind of look. I try to make these pretty easy to modify. So now I am finishing up by adding a couple little flyaways, and you can really add these wherever you want. But I like to add them right near the ear and sometimes at the bottom of the neck and also near the the top of the ponytail and at the top of the forehead. So our next hairstyle is going to be a wavy / curly half up, half down top knot. This is really popular around Pinterest and everything, and also a very popular request. So first we're gonna start off with that hairline like we did with the ponytail. Basically all of these have similar steps. So that's why I kind of wanted to show you that most of the steps I'm gonna teach you apply to most hairstyles. So now we're gonna do that volume at the top. She's kind of facing in a quarter view, so it's easier to see her hair. So we're gonna pull it upward towards the top and gonna make that little circle to show that we're gonna put a top knot there. And I have a video on my Instagram about how to draw a bun, so I'm gonna kind of speed through this process a little bit just so I can move on to the part that I haven't actually talked about yet. So now we are going to draw the shape that the hair is making. So when you're looking at the hairstyle, kind of map out the shape that the hair is in. So when it's curly, I kind of make kind of wavy shapes around the head to kind of map out where everything is gonna be. Now you can always play with this later and add, hair sticking out of that shape. This is just to get a basic idea of where you want everything to be. So now I'm gonna go in and add more details. I'm gonna add a chunk of hair near the side of her face, kind of covering her ear and everything. So having that part marked out before you start drawing the hair kind of helps you decide where everything's gonna be and how the hair will lay on the face. Because if it's laying near the jaw, it's gonna kind of have a bend to it, or if it's laying behind the ear, it's gonna bend behind the ear. So having that kind of basic head shape with an ear planned out is really nice to have before you practice hair, just so you know where everything's gonna lay. And now I'm going in and adding the rest of the hair detail. So we're just gonna, since this is a more curly hair, we're gonna have those S shapes, but they're gonna be a little bit tighter, more S-shaped than elongated S-shaped. And then you're just gonna mirror that and kind of have the curls go in different directions. It helps it look a little bit more natural. And now we're going to go into the pulling the hair back and the bun. I'm not going to talk too much about this because I did talk about this on my Instagram. So if you wanted to find that video, it is on my IGTV page. And there is the finished wavy top knot hairstyle. So the next hairstyle we're gonna do is a braid. This was by far the most requested in the comments section of this post. So we're gonna do just a simple side braid, and you can pretty much apply this to any braid hairstyle that you decide to do. So like the rest of the hairstyles, we are going to start by giving her volume at the top of the head where the hair starts, and then I'm going to give her a little side part. And also, I wanted to talk about how when the head is facing forward, the hair is gonna start near the back of the ear. So I kind of have it started at the tip point of the ear. That way it looks like it's going more behind her head than just sitting on the side of it. So the next thing we're gonna do is draw a line. This is like the line of action when you were planning a pose in anatomy, but I use it for braids. So basically, I'm just gonna draw that line and I'm gonna put it over her shoulder and kind of over her arm. Using this line helps you plan out where the braid's gonna be and also how it's situated over different body parts. So for example, this is over the shoulder, so it's gonna have kind of a curve so you could see that the hair is going over it and not just sitting on top of it. And now we're just gonna add 2 extra lines right beside it. But make sure they're kind of further away from the middle of it. That way you have more space to draw the actual braid. Yeah, and just mirror the 2 sides and then connect them at the bottom. And then what you're gonna do is add a little ponytail holder at the bottom and then draw your chunk of hair. So if you really look at braids, like if you look at someone with a braid in their hair, it really looks like the shape of a heart, except the lines don't stop at the top. They go all the way downward. So that's what I like to do for my braids. I like to make more of an angular heart shape. So at the top, of course, it's going to be the biggest. So you're going to draw your biggest chunk or the biggest side of your heart that you're going to do. And then you're going to connect it to the other side. So since this is kind of a side braid, you can't see the other side very well. It's kind of behind your ear. So I'm just going to make a small little connection to the side. And you can make your braids more heart-shaped, like I show right here, but connect it all the way to the bottom of the heart. I like to do a more angular braid just because I think I think it fits my style better, but sometimes I will do a more softer heart-shaped braid. It kind of reminds me of Rapunzel a little bit. And as your braid gets towards the bottom of your hair, it's going to start to get smaller. So with each braid, make sure that it is slightly getting smaller. And also when you're drawing a braid, you want to make sure that the line doesn't exactly line up to the braid before it, if that makes any sense. Try to like have it connect a different way. That way it doesn't look perfectly even, because a braid isn't perfectly even. So in this portion of the video, my head is in the way for most of it, so I'm very sorry about that, but you can basically follow the steps I told you about when I was beginning the braid. You're just going to make it smaller towards the end and then connect it to the chunk of hair at the bottom. Now we're going to work on the top portion of her head. I'm going to give her a side bang and maybe some flyaways at the corner. Sorry, my head's in the way again. It's very annoying. But I need to figure out a way to solve that problem. It's happened a few times and I've had to re-record things. So yeah, I'm giving her a side braid, a side bang. I finished off the braid by adding the last extra details. You can always add more if you want to. This is just my personal style. If you liked this video, give it a like and subscribe and comment and let me know what other videos you'd like to see on my channel. I want to do a few more challenges maybe, so let me know if you'd be interested in that. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope this helped you. Make sure you tag me on Instagram if you try any of these out. I'd love to see them, and I will speak to you guys next time. Bye!